What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to SellerAmp Seller Hour. If you guys are watching on the replay, we've been putting out a ton of good content recently. So now is a good time to be getting serious about growing your business, all that kind of stuff. We got back to school season on the horizon. So most of the back to school sourcing, the best of it, the FBA particularly for back to school sourcing needs to be taken care of pretty quick here. Just because it's going to take, a month or so for that stuff to check in. So now's a great time to be hopping on some of those back to school products. In the roadmap, we were just jumping on to some back to school sourcing on Sunday as well. And there's lots of good stuff out there. So still some good sales running from like Prime Day, all that good stuff. And then there should be some more opportunity. There'll be a lot more opportunity during back to school. With products kind of popping up and all that good stuff. So yeah, let me know what questions you guys have about starting Amazon, sourcing products, all that good stuff. Probably be live here for 30 minutes or so. And yeah, good to see you guys. What's up, Mo? What's up, Basil? Good to see you guys. And then over on TikTok, let me know if you guys have questions as well. I'm popping on both platforms here. So what's the best practice on getting through to a human to review an ungating invoice? Just put something in the comments. Yeah. Plus, if you just submit the same information again, it'll go to a human. It only goes to AI when they think you're submitting the same thing over and over again. So just like vary up the information and that kind of thing. Absolutely. What's up, DC? Said about to start looking for your first products tonight after work. That's what's up. Any tips on where to start? Yeah, so auto-ungated brands are going to be the best place to start looking for stuff to source. Just because obviously like there's less barrier to entry. They're already approved for you to sell. So you can look up like specifically some auto, just look up auto-ungated sourcing on YouTube. You'll see, probably a video of mine just sourcing through some stuff that's auto-ungated. And then also the best starting point is anything that is cheap today, right? So doing a quick check and saying like what websites are running sales, what brands are on sale today, what websites are running sales on the same brand to compete against each other. So they have to run really good sales, and then just diving in to the stuff that people are already having success with, basically. Absolutely. I apologize in advance for you having to be a Raiders fan too. GT will be fun though. GT will be fun. Have you tried selling cosmetics on Amazon? Yeah, for sure. I've sold literally anything that's profitable on Amazon. I am not I don't discriminate on what products to buy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, as long as the profit looks good, I will sell it. So I've sold a lot of cosmetics, vitamins, clothes, shoes, groceries, literally anything. The main thing, and like you'll find is a good trend with like the best brands to resell, are if they have lots of different places where you can buy the same brand. So like really big brands that other, think JCPenney, Macy's, Kohl's, all these big retailers, they're competing with each other to have the cheapest price of the day. And especially when like sales roll around and stuff like that, then it's a really good opportunity. Let's see, robots on TikTok. You said, do you buy it and then ship it to Amazon? Yeah, exactly. So I do online arbitrage. So I just buy stuff from, yesterday I bought some stuff from Walgreens.com, for example. It's like some vitamins that were on sale. I shipped those off to Amazon FBA. And then when they sell, then Amazon pays me basically. So Amazon will ship it to the customer. Just to get things to Amazon, you'll use a software called Boxum that makes it a lot simpler. And then, yeah, for all of you guys on TikTok, there's a free course on YouTube, and for you guys on YouTube, if you look up 4-hour free Amazon course on YouTube, or just Fields of Profit free course, I've got a 4-hour long free video that you can watch to learn everything basically. How long did it take you to reach 1 million? A little while, because I started with $1,500. So obviously, if you have a lot of money to start with, then you're gonna scale faster. It's just takes money to make money kind of business. My first million took I think 2 to 3 years, something like that. Because there's about 100 my first year, 200 to 300 second year, and then like 700 in my third year, something around there. I need to go back. I've been selling for about six-ish years now, so I don't remember the exact timeline on it, but yeah, I know my first year was like 100K selling books for sure. What up, Chris? How's it going, man? Hope the OA challenge day 1 went well for you. No, I just got a phone up as well, Chris. Yeah, you can get like a bunch of phones if you want to stream on different places too. Let's see. What's up, Imran? Appreciate you. Yeah, to figure you're talking about the free course for sure. Do you only do online arbitrage? For the most part, it's about 95% online arbitrage, just because that's pretty scalable. Yeah, and Melissa, you're asking if books still sell. Books definitely still sell, but I stopped selling books because it's not scalable, right? So when I find something online at Walgreens or Kohl's or whatever, I can buy, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 of it, right? And that way, that one opportunity I found scales. With books and doing retail arbitrage, like going to stores, those are great ways to make money, and they're higher profit, but it's harder to. You're not gonna have a lot of success spending like $100,000 a month going to stores, at least by yourself, right? That'd be a lot of work. I actually do know a couple people that are out there doing that, but I don't think that's the lifestyle that most of us want to do when we're running a business. Let's see. What's up, Brian? Would you recommend going through doing a bunch of auto engates? And if so, where'd you get? Yeah, you definitely can, Brian. It won't take that long. You can just use there's a bulk application for ungating, and then you can just use the auto ungate list that I have below, Brian, and you can and you can just kind of compare. And yeah, I do like the idea of getting as many kind of brands unlocked as possible, so that you have those opportunities locked in for a little while, basically. Do you use credit cards to buy products? Yeah, for sure. I don't over leverage, and I wouldn't recommend over leveraging, at least until you're at least a year or two into the business. Exactly, all your numbers, how things are going to go for you, that kind of thing. But yeah, there's no reason not to spend on a credit card as long as you get the money to back it up. It's a free like 1 to 2%. Yeah, so we spend like $80 to $100 or $80 to $100,000 a month on inventory right now, and that's all on either a 2% cashback credit card or on discounted gift cards that give me even more savings, and we buy those with the 2% cashback as well. So yeah, that alone adds up a lot. There's lots of like bonus money that you guys need to be collecting. That's kind of the real fun of it, right? Is you're flying for free and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, after you kind of get some systems in and good at sourcing, basically, yeah. Let's see. When you input your buy cost, you include sales tax. Yeah, Justin, just because that will have been part of what you paid for the item. So yeah, you want to include that in the per unit cost. That way you can take that right off, basically. If an ungate requires 300, can you still use target with 10? Yeah, I've seen that working for me. I've never once submitted more than 10 units for an ungate, basically. Do you have a course? Yeah, so there's a free course on YouTube. You can just look up free course Fields of Profit on YouTube. And then we also have a paid course, weekly calls, all that kind of stuff inside the FBA Roadmap. So it depends on what you're looking for there. Yeah. What's the easiest way to list products? Yeah. So in terms of listing products and tracking profit and making shipments, that kind of thing, that's where you use Boxem. So Boxem is the software you use for that. And you can try it free for 2 weeks as well. Yeah. Let's see. Budget to start at least like $1,000 to $2,000, I'd say. If you have less, then start flip some stuff off Facebook Marketplace. Hit the thrift stores, that kind of thing. Work some Uber Eats, whatever you got to do to have like $1,000 or two. Somewhere around $2,000 is a pretty safe place to start. You see people create their own listing and changing the brand name to their own stores. It's only allowed you're only allowed to create a new brand and list a product under a new brand if it's actually that brand. So Imran, if you've seen some people will make a brand that is, let's say a big brand, it's like Dove soap, and then they pretend that it's their own smaller brand. That is not allowed on Amazon, and people get banned for that, basically. Yeah. Let's see. What about bundling? Can you create small items with branded and create your own listing? Yeah, so that was really popular as well. So in that same vein, people were getting like ramen noodles, and then they were also making their own brand of chopsticks, and they put one pair of chopsticks with a bunch of ramen noodles, and obviously people are buying it because they want all the ramen noodles, not some like random off-brand chopstick, but they were pretending that it was the chopsticks brand. And that's not allowed anymore either. Basically, the way it works is if you're going to sell a bundle with multiple different products in it, the thing that is the brand name on the listing needs to be over half of the value of the product is the new rule. So if you want to mix different brands together, it's going to fall under the brand that is the primary value of that product, basically. Let's see. You sent a shipment to Amazon, still in receiving status, winning buy box on any product. Yeah. So if it still says receiving, then Amazon's just, it's in the name. They're receiving the shipment, and they're shuffling it around, getting it in stock for you. So Yeah, it's normal if you're not making any sales while it says receiving, because yeah, they're checking it in and that kind of thing. Yeah. Absolutely. What's up, Adrian? Good to see you, man. So yeah, let me know what are the questions you guys got here. How much is Melissa, if you want to check out the paid course, that's up in my bio. You can definitely check that out. But there's also lots of good free resources to start with as well. So whatever makes sense for your business, right? If you invest in a good resource, you're going to grow faster. But there's still lots of good info in the free course on YouTube as well. So you can start there and scale up if you want. Absolutely. When is sales tax applied in the OA? So you're going to pay sales tax on products that you buy from websites that don't accept resale permits. So you can submit a resale permit to some websites, just not all of them. Honestly, not a majority of them. And yeah, that's why you want to work with a prep center if you can eventually. So like for my business, we ship everything to Montana, New Hampshire. There are a couple different sales tax free states depending on what we're buying. And then they'll ship it to Amazon for me. So I save money, and then they're just throwing stuff into Boxum for me. They're shipping it all off to Amazon and all that good stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, let me keep the questions rolling. Good vibes today for sure. And yeah, for any of you guys who want just kind of like an easy starting point, on TikTok, I have a full free course up in my bio. And then on YouTube, I'll drop a link in chat real quick just for a free course that also comes with the free Discord community and that kind of thing as well. So check out the free resources if you're actually serious about getting scaled, basically. Sorry about that. Where do you learn to start about? So like I was just talking about, Hoodie, check out the free course up in my bio. It's like a 4-hour long free course. You can also get a free Discord and that kind of thing. You're asking how do you get inventory? So the vast majority of my inventory is from big name brand websites. So I'll buy a product that let's say is $10 at Walgreens, sells for $22 on Amazon, something like that, and that's going to be a profitable find. Now the caveat here, and where a lot of people fail at selling on Amazon, is that product that I bought for $10 is rarely just going to have a $10 price tag and immediately be selling for a lot more on Amazon, right? The much more common scenario, and you need to be on the lookout for this, is that it's going to be listed for, let's say, $15, and then you can get a 25% coupon that you find with like a free coupon extension through Google Chrome, that kind of thing, and then maybe you get an extra 5 or 10% off on a discounted gift card. Those are just random numbers, and that would get you down to that cost where you're actually profitable. Because the real, like, the thing to keep in mind is that the best products are going to take a little bit of work to create the profit on them, and that's what you want. You want the stuff that takes the work that other people aren't willing to do, right? Because you're objectively going to need to do things that other people aren't willing to do to make money. That's just how it works. So that's like the basics of product sourcing. There's obviously some tactical stuff that you can just watch on YouTube for the most part. Yeah. Let's see. No, I do not, Gregory. It can be a helpful second opinion though. Absolutely. How many hours in a typical week does it take? So it depends on what your goals are. There's a lot of people who have 9-to-5 jobs, kids, family, that kind of thing, and they spend the hour or two a day they can afford and get whatever they can. I know personally several guys and gals like that have 9-to-5 jobs, and they're just doing it really part-time, and they're doing 50 to 100K a month. That's obviously after learning the ropes and stuff like that. Personally, I spend about 30 minutes a day on my business, but that's because I've spent a long time like training people how to run it for me. Early on, it was a lot of time for sure. So just one of those things to keep in mind. Like the more time you can spend, especially up front, the faster you're going to grow. But you can work as many hours as you can, basically. It was like my college side hustle. So all the extra time I had during college, I'd be dumping into that. And then, just because I'd put enough time into it, by the time I graduated, it was just a full-time income. Sweet. Appreciate you, Eric. Yeah, tossing me a buck there. Appreciate it. That'll be a golf ball or something that I'll chuck into the woods. I'll slice into the woods in the next day or two, probably. Appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, let me know what the questions you guys got here. Follow me on YouTube. Videos are so helpful. Awesome. Appreciate you, Thompson. Glad it's helping. Sweet. Let's make sure you get through some of these on YouTube here. Saw a listing where the brand was the exact same as the seller, and it's not a private label. It was a big brand. So I still would avoid selling that, Jimmy. I'm not exactly sure why they would be doing that. It sounds like it's probably somebody pulling a fast one on you, basically. Yep, just another scammer for sure. Yep. I've been doing it for like 6 years now. So if you actually care, you can scroll through and see what's up. Yeah, we stream for people who are actually serious about making life easier for themselves. Profit margin, yeah, John. So I shoot for like 10% net after I pay my team, software, prep center fees, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people shoot for 20 to 25 margin, and they're doing a lot more work per day. So it just depends on the type of business you want to run, basically. You can buy yourself out of the business pretty easily after you've got like the fundamentals in place, and that's kind of my goal. Other people like working hard and making more profit off the business. It's totally up to you. Sweet. JCPenney and yeah, definitely be checking out those discounted gift cards there. Best way to get ungated for beginners. Yeah, so just you'll buy, as long as the brand accepts applications, the invoice from whatever website you found it profitably will work. Yeah, you can just look up like how to get ungated on YouTube, and it'll show you how to do it. Sounds good. I might do ASINs on in a day or two, Jose. I'm live on TikTok as well, so it's hard to show it on both. Yeah. Sounds good. Where do you get your products manufactured? So I don't manufacture any products. I only sell things that are already name brands and already sell well on Amazon. The hard part of what I do is finding the profit and creating the profit with whatever means possible. Maybe buying in bulk and wholesale. Maybe I'm using multiple layers of sales and coupons and that kind of thing on a website. But yeah, once you have the item profitably, that's not the hard part. If you're manufacturing products, you're doing private label, which you can definitely do, but the success rate is a lot lower, and it's also a lot more expensive to start. But the upside of being able to like sell it is also really cool. So lots of different ways to make money online for sure. No perfect way. Just find something you like doing and stick with it, basically. Let's see. Yeah, Jimmy. So as far as like software that claims to like automatically source products or whatever, those are not going to be a good move, just because number one, they're going to spit out the same leads to everyone. And number two, they are going to like any like automated software and that kind of thing is going to miss the best products because they're not going to see the multi-packs. They're not going to see, bundles where you're mixing items together for like extra profit and that kind of thing. Yeah. So you always just want to be digging through manually, basically, to do sourcing. There's not really any good software, AI or anything that's there yet. Do you send all your OA products to a prep center when you check out? Yeah. So they all go to a prep center. So that'll just be the shipping address, and that way you don't pay sales tax as well. Because like you'll want to work with a prep center that's in a state with no sales tax. And then yeah, instead of paying like let's say on a $50 item, you were going to pay $5 in sales tax. That's basically what I was working with. I can ship it to a state with no sales tax and pay $1.50 to let them do the work. And I don't pay sales tax. So you save time and money, basically. What size box do you use for ideal shipping? It doesn't really matter. The main thing is that you have your box just kind of as dense as possible. And especially if you're doing an FBA shipment, that it's close to 50 pounds. Yeah, and when you're making shipments, make sure you run them through Boxem as well, because it'll show you a couple extra shipping options, so you can really make sure you're getting like the best price comparison, basically. Yeah. Most online stores are introducing count limits. So as long as I can remember, there's always been websites have always had like a 10, 20, 30 limit per item. You just place multiple orders. Yeah. That's totally normal. Let's see. Do you think 300 units a month is enough for a prep center? Don't want to get terrible rate. Some prep centers will work with you at that. Yeah. A lot of them will do like 100 unit minimum per shipment. So it might be a little bit slower in terms of how often they're sending out your shipments, but yeah, just send out some emails, that kind of thing. And yeah, if you're coming from I see a lot of sneaker boxes. It's rare to find somebody who came from sneakers that jumps into Amazon that doesn't find success. So you've got it in the DNA. So it's just kind of learning some new tactical information for you, basically. Let's see. You sell makeup. You had any issues with certain brands not allowing you to sell? Yeah, for sure. There's always certain brands and products that the brand themselves already sell, or you just can't apply to sell. And that's just part of the game. You just stick to stuff that is just stick to stuff that's selling nice and well, and you can actually sell. There's plenty of it. Do you have a video with more detail on the shipping process? Yeah. So just look up Boxem shipment guide, and you just follow that step by step, basically. Yeah. Do you do more wholesale? Do you have multiple VAs doing online arbitrage? Yeah, so it's pretty much all online arbitrage. And yeah, I do have like virtual assistants that I've hired to train the products and buy the products and keep it restocked and handle account health and that kind of thing. That's kind of like one of the long-term ways you can really scale a reselling business. And that's honestly why I still do it after all this time, because it can be turned into a real business. You don't want to be doing something that involves your time every single day for years and years and years, right? Let's see. Why does Amazon stop featuring your listing, which was active? Sometimes if like another website runs a big sale on a product, they'll make it where it doesn't show up on a Google search. But people, if they search it on Amazon, it'll still show up. Amazon just doesn't want to be seen as like an expensive option on things, which you can debate whether or not that's legal, but that's not exactly my place to talk about. Yeah, the nice part is those items will still sell even if it's called search suppressed. Yeah. How do you reduce placement fees? Yeah, so you can make optimized shipments. So if you make optimized shipments through Boxem, the software, where you make 5 boxes and they're all identical, Boxem will remove the placement fees to Amazon. What I have found, though, is that it's almost always cheaper to pay the placement fees and ship to the closest destination, because the per pound shipping rates get so much better than shipping to multiple destinations with no placement fees. But yeah, I can tell you like been in the weeds if you know like about if you know about placement fees and that kind of thing. So yeah, you can definitely test it out. So go try making a Boxem optimized shipment, and that'll walk you through the process basically. Is a sale every other day good, or is it slow? That's up to you, Shay. Yeah, the only thing you can control is the input of profitable products, right? For me, if it was every other day making a sale, I probably wouldn't be super happy. I'd be buying more inventory. So to me, it's time to start sourcing if I'm you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Adrian spitting facts as usual. Absolutely. Do you have software to help you with day-to-day operations? As far as just like managing team and that kind of thing, there's no real need for it. Yeah, as far as Amazon goes, you just need SellerAmp, Keepa, Boxem, and then just like managing the business kind of thing. You can just do it on Google Sheets. As far as like tracking extra costs, Discord if you're communicating with other people you're working with in the business, that kind of thing. Absolutely. See, trying to sell from Academy Sports. Yeah, just keep submitting the information. You'll get approved. You can look up how to get ungated on YouTube as well. I've got a video that'll walk you through it. Yeah. Let's see. What do you sell on Amazon? Anything that's profitable is the short answer. Longer answer. Recently, it's been more and more like back to school type stuff. Some clothes, some vitamins, a little bit of groceries. Yeah, anything that's profitable though. To be honest, there's no reason to be like particular to any certain types of products. In fact, I like selling a ton of different ASINs and a ton of different categories and brands. That way, if anything goes weird with one particular brand on Amazon, maybe that brand wants to start carrying their stuff on Amazon and be more serious. It's not a big loss if that gets cut off, because there's tons of other stuff that I can fall back on, basically. Yeah. How do you keep stock? Yeah, so I'll use Boxem to manage like restocking and checking inventory levels, figuring out what's a good item, what's not a good item. Yeah, just making it as easy as possible, because the real scaling potential in Amazon is when you just are restocking the same items over and over again, and you're not having to do new work to find a new product. And yeah, I'll just jump in on Boxem to help me restock things. How long you been doing Amazon? About 6 years. Yeah, coming up on 6 years. I think my first sale was August of 2019. For sure. Where do you look for groceries? Anywhere that sells them, to be honest, but specifically websites that have coupons on groceries. So I've bought some stuff at like iHerb, Vitacost, Walgreens, and then a lot of times I'll buy groceries directly from the brand's website as well. For sure. Yeah, and for all of you guys who have been asking good questions, all that kind of stuff, I have a free course you can check out as well. Yeah, so there's a 4-hour free course on YouTube, and it's also just up in the bio there. Yep, Mark, I am scamming you. Yep. For sure, man. Yeah, I've been doing this for 6 years. The resources are free. I don't know what to tell you. At some point, you got to stop being skeptical and start like kind of believing in yourself. You know what I mean? Believe you can actually do stuff that's cool. Let's see. Are you missing out as an indie cosmetics brand by not being on Amazon? If you yourself own the cosmetics brand, there's no reason not to like try it. Yeah, there's no reason not to. Yeah, congrats on building the brand and that kind of stuff, getting that far. That's awesome. Let's see. Do you have a video on getting approved for grocery? Yeah, I've got like an older video that'll still apply, Jimmy. But just in general, just the recent videos I've made on just getting ungated. Just look up how to get ungated on YouTube and watch one of the more recent ones I've made. They're all they all still work though. The methods from 5 years ago are still the same. Let's see. How do you know when to move from ordering a couple per item to 15 to 20? I like the question. Yeah, Vanessa. So you'll reach a point where the biggest regret you have with all the products you're buying is not, oh, this wasn't profitable. This didn't go well for me. Something went weird. It becomes, man, I wish I would have bought more of that. When that becomes the biggest issue with your items, usually around 75 to 80% of your items, you're going to start being like, man, this was awesome. This was awesome. I should have bought way more. Then that can just kind of immediately give you the confidence to start going a little bit deeper. And then tactically, Vanessa, if you dive in on the Keep Offers tab, it can give you a little bit better data on how much might actually sell. Yeah, and that'll be a big help basically. What do you recommend starting with? Let's see. Yes, so you're talking about like MOQs and that kind of thing. So you've probably been looking at like private label or wholesaling or something like that. So the easiest place to start is just buying and selling things that people already buy in bulk. And you can get very cheap, which is going to be going to local retail stores or buying from big websites, basically. And that's still what I do. About 95% of my business is just buying from big websites and flipping that on Amazon. So yeah, just look up auto ungated sourcing on YouTube if you want like a really easy starting point for how to source products and also what products are like approved right away, basically. Absolutely. Let's see. How do you handle when the brand jumps on the listing and doesn't share the buy box? Yeah, Laura. So whenever you start looking into a new brand, just open up a couple listings of that brand. And as long as you don't see them on any of the listings, it's very unlikely that they're going to jump on. So that's kind of like just like a quick check I'll always do. So it's likely that brand was selling on a lot of their other listings and they came back to that one. At this point, you can run a coupon or something like that to make some sales. What about when you start but you have no reviews? So the nice part is reviews don't really matter, especially since the best way to sell is just selling things that already have reviews and already are selling well. And then as far as storefront reviews, you'll see like maybe a very small bump in sales after you get your first review. But after that, it really doesn't matter as long as you're not getting spammed with negative reviews. And you also shouldn't really care about product reviews as long as it has like established sales, basically. So when you jump in, you'll just look at SellerAmp, which shows you like how fast things sell. And then yeah, you're not having to worry about marketing, that kind of thing. Thoughts on drop shipping? So drop shipping is not allowed on Amazon, Tyler, unless you do it in a very particular way, which almost no one does. Yeah, so yeah, just got to be a little bit careful about that. Let's see. Saw the video with me and Court. Yeah, that was a fun one for sure. I think that we were out in Las Vegas filming that one. Let's see. Give a few. Yeah, any website that sells the name brand product you want to sell will work, man. Yeah, no reason to get no reason to like start overthinking that, basically. Elaborate on running coupons to make sales. Yeah, so you can run a coupon as an Amazon seller. Keep in mind there's a per redemption fee that you pay plus the discount you provide. But I've found a lot of success. Instead of cutting the price on something and leading to a price war if I need to sell out on something, you can run a coupon for the same amount that you were going to cut the price by. And then the major benefit is other people's repricers don't typically see coupons. And so it's not going to create a race to the bottom. But on an Amazon buying end, you're still going to be the cheapest. You're still going to be the cheapest offer and make a little bit more sales. So I've had a lot of success using that instead of just like cutting prices to make to sell out on things that just didn't go as well as I'd hoped, basically. Why is Amazon? So bundles are allowed as long as over half of the value is the actual brand that it's tied to. Bundles were getting way out of control for a second. It was leading to just a huge mess on Amazon. And as people who just resell the products that already do well, you want the bundle policy to be a little bit stricter, because there were people that were running essentially really well performing private label listings, but they were selling the same like multi-packs as you and I, just adding like a sticker to it, and then they owned all the traffic, which takes away the opportunity from all the people who are following the rules and just properly reselling it, basically. If a product shows one person on the listing that isn't the brand or the manufacturer, would you test it? Good question. Open a few other listings of that brand and see if it's the same seller on every single one of the listings. There might be some kind of exclusive relationship there, but a lot of times you'll see, one seller on listing A, but then listing B, C, D, they all have 3, 5, 10, 15 sellers on it. And that shows me that it's like a nice, nice place to start. Yeah, definitely don't need to be using that, Adrian. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, as far as software goes, it's just SellerAmp, Keepa, and Boxem. Yeah. Awesome. Probably gonna go ahead and wrap up here for the day though. Good vibes as always. On YouTube, I'll drop a free course and the free Discord and chat. And then if you guys are on YouTube and want the same free resource, it's about 3 or 4 hours of content and a free Discord community you can start getting plugged in with, ask questions, all that kind of thing. It's up in my bio on TikTok. But yeah, good vibes. I will see you guys again very soon. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Let's make some money online today.